All right, welcome to part two of the Pinpoint Investor podcast with Faisal Morsi. My guest again is Rich Amaya, who's breaking down a property that was sent to us by a wholesaler. He's going through the first part and just lets us know like what he looks for and stuff like that. So this time we're actually going to be breaking down the costs, and he's going to share his spreadsheet with us. Again, appreciate your time, man.
I appreciate you.
Go ahead and share your screen.
Sounds good.
All right, perfect.
So I have this pulled up, coming to look for some comps. I pair this, when we comp a property, I pair it with a calculator. I just confirmed the calculator's popped up. Can you see the calculator?
Yep, absolutely.
Perfect. So we simplify it. We only need to know about four numbers on here, okay? The ARV, which is right here, okay? We need to know how much we think construction is going to be. And we need to know what we should buy it for. This is usually the last one. I estimate my projects to go about 2 months to 3 months construction. And I like to be in and out from settlement to settlement 4 months. That's usually where I like to be. So I always preset mine to 4 months. And as you see, it says estimated hold time. And that basically calculates your interest payments. So a lot of people forget to take into consideration, the holding costs that's going to cost you throughout the project until you sell. Now, let's figure out what we think this property in Essex is worth. We would try to squeeze in a second bathroom, of course. So we're going to try to find a 3-2. Look, perfect. One on the same street. Here's our comp. This is 100% our comp. So this one sold for $290, 3-bed, 2-bath. As you see, let's take a look at it. They renovated everything.
I mean, this is like an A+ comp here. Like, doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, it's literally on the same street. You don't need to look anywhere else, honestly, on what your comp is going to be. Our renovation is going to be similar to this one. And in order to get that number, that ARV on the sale, you should try to mimic what's already been selling, basically.
It looks like they put a bathroom in that master suite upstairs. You see how the angle of that shower?
I did see it. Where is it?
All right, scroll down a little bit.
That's the main one. Here it is. Yep, they
Right?
did squeeze one in. There it
Okay.
is. They did squeeze one in. They did it the right way too. So here I see that it was a fully renovated house. From what I imagine, I remember that this is going to be, the exact same comp. So with that being said, I found a comp. Literally, the appraiser is going to use it probably because it's on the same street. So it's a 290 ARV. I think for that size house, I
Fixed fee
personally
put
think we're going to be
29,000.
in, 29,000. I think we're going to be in around 70. But when I run numbers, I always like to give myself 5K wiggle room. So I'm going to put it at 75. If I look down here, it's telling me my estimated profit. If I
What
buy
did,
that,
what were they asking for?
good question. They are asking for 165. So I'm going to put in 165 because that's what they're asking for. At that price, I would net $6,925.
And that's if everything goes like perfectly well.
That's if everything goes perfectly well. We sell where we need to sell at as far as the ARV. We don't go over construction, and we are in and out by 4 months, settlement to settlement. That right there is nowhere near what I would want. As you see, it tells you that return on investment is at 2.5%. I'm looking for at least 12. So in order for me to make this work, you have two things. You either tone down construction, which I'm not a fan of. That's just not my style. So let's say I decide not to tone it down. I want to do construction right. I have to find a way to negotiate this price. At 12% at 290, that's what I look for. I'd want to net about 35K. So now I know that if I'm going to make 6K, I have to drop this price by about 28. So from 165, we'll go to 137. Okay, so now I know my offer that I would want to give to get it to my number. I could offer 139 with these numbers. If I want to put in 75 and I want in and out 4 months and I want to make 35, resell it at 290, I have to offer 139 with these numbers. So that's the general way of how I even look at it. To even consider it, if it's worth a deal, this is literally my analysis tool that I use.
Can you break down your repair costs?
Yep.
And
You
then
said my carrying
if
costs
people,
or my holding costs? I mean, or my construction costs.
yeah, your construction costs. And if people want this calculator, can they reach out to you and you share it, or is that
Yeah,
fine?
yeah, that's not a problem. You can tailor it to whatever they need.
All right, cool.
Here, let me get on here. 1 second. Oops.
We know your password now.
Yeah, congrats. Good luck. If anybody found out my password, they'd be surprised at what's
It's going to be your first son's name and his birthday.
That would have been way too.
Password 123.
Yeah.
All right, so this is a tool you use called Jobber.
Yeah, this is our preset construction services. We have our construction numbers and budgets line itemed. So, like for example, we know we're going to paint the house. We know we're going to probably replace some windows. There's going to be some demo, base molding, which is trim baseboard. There's going to be some electrical work. We know that there's probably going to be some drywall installation, maybe some framing going on as well. What else do we have? I know there's going to be kitchen. We're going to replace the kitchen. There's going to be plumbing. Of course, there's going to be plumbing involved. Where is the plumbing? It'll pop up. There's going to be plumbing involved, of course. What else do we have for the drywall? There's going to be, we like to carpet all bedrooms, so we're going to put some carpet in there. We also have flooring. We're going to add some LVP in there. HVAC. Where are you at? There you are. And that's pretty much it. We have all the trades, flooring, electrical, and stuff like that. So to break it down, for investors, we go $3 a square foot. So I know you have $2 for wall paint, $1 for ceiling and trim. So it's $3 a square foot. And that property told us, can you see it? I'm sorry.
I can see the quote. Yeah.
You can? Okay.
Yeah.
This property, just about 1,500 square feet. So I know that's going to, I'll input that into my jobber. 1 second. I'm gonna add this back. Where is it?
All right.
There it is. I'm gonna just add this here. There we go. So I'm gonna type in 1,500 square feet. So my estimator puts that in. That's how much I'll estimate that will cost me for painting, labor, and material. In that house, I estimated there'd be about 12 windows we had to replace. There's a set price of $370. Demo trash, I usually like to budget about $1,500 a floor. So I thought I saw 2 levels in there. It was 2.5 because the top floor is just a loft at that point. Base molding trim, I like to budget $1,000 a floor. So you have top floor, which is half. That would be a half as well. Main floor and basement. So I type in there 2.5. And again, this includes installation of baseboard and trim around the windows and the floors. Electrical services, I like to do things the right way. So we're going to do the electrical up to code. And this one, my guy charges about $2,250 a level. So I know there's 3. That's what it's going to cost us to do it right. Drywall installation. I thought that house was interesting, but I'm assuming I'm going to laminate majority of that house. So we're going to estimate. I usually estimate about 100 a floor. It has a half up there, so we're going to say about 250 for
And that's
drywall.
the full gut job. Now, are you like saving anything, or like are you still gonna
So
put in?
based off the pictures that I saw there, I figured we were going to laminate all of it. I saw a lot of mold. I'm sorry. I saw some nicotine on things. I saw a lot of damaged drywall plaster. So just to smooth out the walls, we'd laminate it with 1/4 inch. Um, but if we can save any walls that we can, then we will. We just look at the condition. It's always house by house, honestly. But once we've seen an excess amount of paint on there, different coats, it gets really lumpy. And we always are fearful of making it look cheap. A bad paint job, if your paint job is bad, then it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the house, and
Mhm.
it's like a trickle down effect. Like, oh wow, no, we see all these low quality marks or errors on the wall. Who knows what else they skipped corners on? And
Yep.
that's always what we try to avoid. So at that point, we're just trying to be cautious. But on this one, if I were to laminate the whole house, I'm gonna say 250. We usually estimate about 100 a floor, and it has a half level, including ceilings and walls. That's usually how we estimate it. Um, let's just say we were gonna do. Let's just say we were gonna do the half of the house. Then our cost would drop, of course.
Okay.
Framing, installation, we usually go, if we were going to go down to the studs, we would charge about 125 a floor. Usually what framing is what you're going to do, how many studs you're going to use. But in this house in particular, we might be laying on top of the plaster. We might be laying 1-bys on top of them. Electrician might need a new wall in the kitchen. So we're going to budget just about 100 studs. 100 is pretty safe because whether you're bulkheading something or anything, just always budget for at least 100 studs. That's what
Okay.
we've been taught to do, and it works. In our investor kitchen here, you would see we have a breakdown. It's 11.5, and it includes, here, I'll put it here. It includes cabinets. It includes countertops, the hardware. Wonder if this can go down. There we go. Appliances and the installation of all. Now, on there, we always put, if you have or want a bigger kitchen than what we usually put in, of course, prices go up because cabinets, that's more material we have to pay for, more countertop we have to pay for, and probably more hardware we have to pay for. So, and it's always stock for us. So we'll always be putting in white shaker cabinets, white quartz countertop, stainless steel appliances, and we'll put in black hardware. It's always the same thing for us. Makes it easy. It takes the guessing game out of, oh, I wonder what the product's going to look like at the end. Well, here's a picture of what it's going to look like, and that's exactly how it'll look like. Plumbing, we like to replace cast iron. We like to do things right. Our philosophy, the way that has worked for us, is that if we can make sure that everything behind the wall is done correctly, it gives the buyers peace of mind. So if we get an offer, we're not too worried when it's time for post inspection reports or negotiations, because a lot of times a lot of deals break down once that inspector gets in there. And maybe you have the offer you wanted, but they just weren't. They were scared enough to back out. And now, honestly, at that point, when somebody backs out, oftentimes people start scrambling, and now they're trying to play catch up and fix things that should have been fixed before the
Agreed.
walls went up. So we have 2 bathrooms in the kitchen. So I would budget about 2.5 here. For plumbing, investor carpet with padding, we have 3. No, it would be a 3-bedroom. Yep. So we and 1 set of stairs that I saw. So I'll budget 4 in there for that. So we'll be doing all the upstairs, 1,500 house. So 2/3 would put us at about 1,000 if we were to do the basement and the main floor of LVP ran throughout. $4.09 what we charge for material and installation. And then we have ductwork. HVAC, all new duct work, as you see, is at that price. And then we have a furnace, which is the condenser and the inside furnace. So all that going hand in hand.
I didn't see. Do we have to replace the roof too?
Yeah, there should be a roof. Yeah, there's a good estimator there somewhere. Let me see. We have a good estimator here. So per square, we're at 365. A house that size, just off of experience, I'm guessing you'll be about 15 squares possibly. So add that. And it gives us a ballpark price. Because again, this can go up once you get behind the walls or once you actually start demoing, things can change. And yeah, this is how we run our estimates when we want to buy a flip. And this is also how our estimator works for when we will renovate for a client. Everything's pretty
It looks
stock.
like, sorry to interrupt. It looked like you were at like 63,000 before adding the roof, and the roof is 5475. Look like
I had so it's preset to have taxes on there. I removed it.
got it. Okay, that makes sense.
But we also offer that option about a credit card, but you do have to pay a credit card fee. But there are benefits to it. I'm not a financial advisor in any way, but there are benefits to running your construction through a credit card.
Yeah, agreed.
And that's not financial advice, by the way. Now, I don't think I missed anything here. I'll double check, but as far as windows went, I think I added that. Maybe we miscounted windows, but again, that's why you always budget about 5 to 10K more, because you might have missed something when you estimated it. I have this. I didn't anticipate any siding. Oh, exterior work, for example, like, are we going to paint? Oh, there should be excess paint on the exterior of the front porch.
Yeah, you didn't include like any like landscaping or anything like that either.
Exactly. So again, this one is a great estimator. It helps us. We know where our labor is. We know where our material cost is. And we usually are good at estimating within 5K usually. Now, don't hold us to it, because once we start and there's more problems behind the wall, we can't anticipate that.
Or if you need some kind of like underpinning, like I just saw 35,000, you know?
Like things like that. So, insulation. There's probably going to be a need for insulation somewhere. I'll add that in there. I usually budget about 1,000 a floor for insulation. So if, let's just say we went to 2 floors, boom. That's what my estimator would say we would spend. And that's how we run.
Then with this right here, obviously people don't have access to this. So if they want to get like an estimate from you or something, do you charge for that?
I don't charge for that on the first one. I don't charge for the first estimate. After that, I won't come out for an estimate until you have that house under contract. So my philosophy behind that is I will send you a line item estimate the first time for free, and you will see my pricing. You will have my pricing. I'm not changing my pricing unless material goes up. I don't care what the competitors are doing. That's my pricing. So from there, you should be able to take that estimator, and when you go walk it, you know what I'm going to charge. So you have to do your own due diligence, make your offer, and then when you're done, I'll come out and give you a final estimate. But once it's under contract and you're going to buy it, because truth is, I respect your time, but I also want my time respected. And I can't go out and make estimates for every house you want to make an offer on. It just, the time isn't there. No disrespect.
We have people in our market that charge per estimate. I don't know if it's like $300 or $500, but something like that. And then if you do end up going with them, they'll just take that price off of the, their fee or whatever. You don't want to do something like that?
So I actually respect the people that do that. I totally understand from a business aspect why they do it. And I do think it also helps hold that potential client accountable. They submit a deposit. They care about their money and time now at that point. My philosophy as to why I don't is simply because I know I look for specific clients. I want clients that are hands off, that are searching for the next deal, and that don't want to micromanage or be a contractor. And I say that because, as I stated earlier in the podcast, you have about 3% to 4% control of the renovation if you hire us. So I like to balance it out in the sense of, listen, man, I am an investor contractor. And once we get into homeowners, it's a different ball game, and it is what it is. It's more custom. But here in this investor field, we care about quality, speed, and looking for the next project or deal. And those are the clients that I want. So as an investor, I know that speed matters. I don't have time to go around collecting deposits all the time. I'll be honest. And I honestly don't want to be known for that because I want repeat investor clients, but the ones who are dedicated investors.
All right, so give me an idea of like, because the fact that I know you're an investor, what's your experience? So how many rentals do you have currently?
After Friday, we'll be at 17
Okay, and about how many flips have you done for yourself personally?
since I started.
Yep, ballpark.
65 probably.
Okay, and how many projects are you currently doing for yourself and then other people as well?
I have 6 flips and 3 rentals going on right now. And then for clients, I'm looking at it right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 11 client projects going on right now.
All right, so like the biggest knock on contractors is that like your communication sucks. How are you able to manage all that and still able to like communicate with clients?
So communication will always be the hardest obstacle for a contractor, I believe. We have onboarded an assistant, an admin, who is dedicated to just following up with clients, responding to emails, and also um, holding me accountable. Anything that falls through the cracks, they're supposed to bring up. So that's one way to do it. Also, I am now reaching out to clients, letting them know, give me 24 hours and I'll get back to you in a professional manner. For example, we had to go on a personal trip outside of business, my family and I thought it was professional and also something that was needed. That, I sent out an email a week before, let them know, hey, I'll be gone for 13 days. And here are the contacts that you can call while I'm gone. And here are their emails. Um, so even though we're investors and yes, contractors communication is an obstacle, there is still a balance of professionalism that I think has to be met. So by using that standard of professionalism and also hiring an admin for communication purposes, I think we're able to compete in that sense of eliminating that bad rep that contractors have with communication. Now, we're not perfect yet. There are still days where I think I need a second person to answer the phone, but it's an ongoing thing, analysis where we're always like, listen, how can we get better with this? Oh man, I missed like 3 calls today. I have to follow up with them. And then on construction meetings, which we have construction meetings twice a week, and we go through every project, see where we're at, see if we met our weekly metrics, and we'll be like, hey man, we have to call this person, let them know what's going on. Hey man, put this on the notes after this meeting. We have to call this person, give them an update, things like that. So we're not perfect there, but we are conscious about we have to keep open communication with these clients.
Nice. Okay. Um, what advice would you give to someone who is just starting off? They don't really know how to like analyze the deal as far as like the repair costs.
I think someone who's starting off and doesn't know how to analyze deals as far as construction, I think you find a capital partner or a seasoned investor and you tell them straight up, listen, man, I want to split profit, whatever percentage you think is a good one. I'll help us find a deal when I bring you one. What I want out of this is, of course, if we can make money, great. But secondly, or most importantly, I want to know how you run your numbers. And the best way for us to do it is if you can run one with me and you are actively walking it with me and breaking your thought process down, then I think you get firsthand experience. And I think even though you don't get 100% of the profit, it's an investment. So that the next time you take it on yourself, you will know how people that are doing this constantly are thinking, what they're budgeting. And plus, it's also good to do it that way starting out because you also know what people are paying for certain things, which is great because I'll be honest, at the end of the day, it's still a sales game. Contractors still want to make money, and I'm not speaking about me directly, I know my profit margin is low compared to many, but there are people who will try to make as much as they can on you. And hey, they're in it for business. I can't even be mad at them. That's what they're in it for. So if you know where what other people are paying and where that price should be at, I think you gain that by actually having someone that is actively doing it. So I think partnering up with a few solid or veteran investors that are doing what you want to do is the best route. Yeah, you lose some profit, but the experience will pay you back.
Yeah, agreed. That's great advice. My first project, I lost like 10,000 bucks. So if I would have, partnered up with somebody who was more experienced, maybe I could have made 10,000 instead of losing 10,000. All right, this is a question that I ask all my real estate investor guests. What's your craziest real estate story? Because I'm of the mindset that we deal with like the lowest of the low, and we see like the craziest stories. So what's yours?
Craziest real estate story was we were on West Baltimore Street. I'll never forget. I think it was 2020 or 2019, West Baltimore Street. And I was actively talking with the lady over the phone, finally got her to commit to an appointment. And she was like young in her 30s or something like that. And I've only communicated with her for about 2 months and she was ready to sell it. So I walked the property to get pictures. I was talking to her. And throughout the whole thing, I think she was ready to sign. To this day, I believe she was ready to sell the house. And her boyfriend, who has nothing to do with the house, like it's not even on the deed or anything, comes in and asks what's going on here. He gets upset after I tell him, hey, I'm just looking to make an offer, man. Hopefully I'm the one that could buy this house or something like that. And he gets really upset, kicks me out, and pulls out a gun. And I was caught off guard because it escalated so quickly. And I said, listen, man, I don't have to buy this house. And that's what changed the way I go and see properties nowadays. I'll just say it like that. It was I couldn't believe how fast it escalated. And again, I was invited and was having a great conversation. But then someone who's not even involved out of nowhere just walked in because he was living there, but wasn't on the deed. It was crazy. I didn't know what to feel. Angry. I felt angry, scared. Of course, I felt scared. And at the same time, like, did that just happen? Did this just you know what? I'm not even calling this house anymore.
Dude,
I'm out of
you're
here.
about to lose this free ride. Can you blame him?
Dude, I couldn't believe it. And to this day, that has to be the craziest one.
So you stopped following up with her? It sounds like she's ready to make a deal. So, I mean, if you want to give me her number, I'll follow up with
Yeah,
her.
I'm pretty sure she sold it. It was on the 2,500 block. I kept up with it for a couple years. She sold it. I don't know how, but I know I wasn't going to force a deal.
I guess it was tenant occupied.
Yeah. Yeah, squatter situation.
Yeah. All right, man. I appreciate your time. How can people get a hold of you?
So, for scheduling purposes, the best number to reach me at is directly to my admin. I am very calendar driven. So if it's on my calendar, I usually stay up to date with it and I commit to it. So 443-743-3762 is the best number to reach me for scheduling purposes. Juan will always answer the phone. He works from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's a long time to get on schedule, Monday through Friday, of course. And then on social media, I am Rich Invest MD on Instagram. And then on Facebook, my personal page, if you guys ever want to reach out, is Rich Amaya. And then, of course, we have our construction social media page on Facebook, which is MDH Elite Renovations.
Nice. That's awesome, man. Appreciate your time. As always, looking forward to working with you in the future, man.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Talk soon.
All right, talk soon.